Hi everyone, it's been a while since I did a video and I'm going to make this. I think I've made these before a long time ago, and they're basically instead of the stuffed cabbage, I'm going to make the stuffed collard greens, which I've already blanched and see, and they're draining, the water's draining. And basically what I've done is I've gotten my meat together, and I have like a pound, well, 12 ounces of ground lamb, and then I have like well, close to a pound. I would say anywhere between 14 ounces, 12 to 14 ounces with ground beef. And I'm going to wash my hands, which this little thing that's going around that starts with the C. We want to make sure that our hands are thoroughly washed. And I've been washing them all day, and I like washing my hands a lot, especially when I'm cooking. And I'm just going to give that extra wash. And make sure you wash your hands thoroughly, because you're going to be using your hands to mix. Do some mixing. Okay, so what I do is I start off with a couple of cups of cremini mushrooms that are sauteed, and then I have like this medley of one stalk of celery, an onion, one carrot, and probably a quarter of a bell pepper. So they're all diced the same size. Sorry, can get that out. And I basically sauteed it with a little bit of grapeseed oil and some avocado. Got a couple tablespoons. And I have my spices here that I'm going to be using. I'm going to get, I don't have my little seasoning whisk that I use. And I have a little tiny whisk that I use for seasoning. So I'm just going to mix that up. It's my seasoned salt that I use. I use probably about a teaspoon. Soften up the vegetables so they look kind of like, look like this. Okay. And like I said, I have another video clip. We're gonna do well. Okay. And then while that is cooking, I have some Worcestershire sauce with some mint leaves in there. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. That's only like about a tablespoon. Yeah. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some tomatoes. And then probably put about a couple of tablespoons of tomatoes in there. And I'm going to put some oregano in there. And I'm going to rub the oregano together. Okay. I'll put a little bit of 21 seasonings. About a teaspoon each. Save your jars. Don't throw them out. You can recycle them. So when you go get your seasonings and you find your favorite store that has like yummy, yummy amounts of seasoning, because I could tell, I went to go, as a matter of fact, I'm going to use this, but when I went to go get my smoked paprika at a store, I could tell the difference between their smoked paprika and the one smoked paprika that I usually go to. And the one that I usually go to, I love. So I just mixed them, but just go ahead and put a teaspoon. You don't have to put it in there, but I like to. I'm going to put about 1/4 of a teaspoon, or probably less, of the cumin. And then I'm going to put a little bit of allspice in there. You know. And that's going to kind of soften the flavors. I have some barley. I'm not too sure. I think what I'm going to do is I might put the barley in there. Actually, I might just put the barley. I'm going to do some of them with barley and most of them with meat. That's what I'm going to do. And then if you're doing vegan, you know, separate it. And that's pretty softened. And it gets soft because of the salt. I'm going to go ahead and put my cremini mushrooms, which have moisture in them. And you want to cook those. So after they're softened, it doesn't take long for the mushrooms to cook. So that's why I always add the mushrooms in later. You always want to taste your food. Oh yeah. You know what? It has so much seasonings in there. Oops. That I'm not going to have to add the seasonings, extra seasonings in there. So I'm going to put that aside because you don't want it too salty. This has plenty. And there's a difference between sea salt and kosher salt. Kosher salt has probably almost half the sodium as the sea salt. The sea salt is very salty, and the kosher salt is not so salty. I'm not too sure how they process that, but it's a different processing. But I like using the sea salt, and you use less of it, and then I like the flavor. Now there's all different kinds of salts you could use. You can buy truffle salt, you can use jade salt, black lava salt, Himalayan salt. A lot of people swear by Himalayan. Salt is salt. It's still sodium. So however you cut it, it's going to be salt. Okay. So normally I let that cool down a little bit. Make sure this is drained. Egg in there. It's almost close to a meatloaf. And then I do have some panko in there. You could use your own breadcrumbs or even a cracker. Crumble it up. And I'm just going to put like, let's see, about a couple tablespoons in there. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and begin to mix this up. So I'm mixing the beef and the lamb together because it just gives it a nice flavor. If you don't want to mix the lamb, you could just use the lamb by itself on its own, and that's fine too. Now I'm going to take half of this because I'm going to do some with the barley. So I'm going to save some for the barley. Let's see, that's about a cup or so. And then I'm going to mix it up in with the meat. You want to thoroughly mix it in there, okay? Thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly mix. Okay, put that aside. So I'm going to take the leaf, see, and the rough leaf out on the outside. Then I'm going to go ahead, and you can measure it out. Ah, that smells so good. Ah, it smells wonderful. So I'm going to take this, and then I'm going to measure it out, and that's like a tablespoon and a half. I put a little bit over, so it's probably a couple tablespoons. And then I'm going to fold it over like so. And then you have I'm going to put it into another plate. Okay. Like that. I'm going to take another one. Wrap it. So basically what I did, see here, I took the sides, do one up here real close, okay, so I can show you. Get a nice leaf here. So the rough part is on the outside, and then the soft part is on the inside, just like you would a tamale. And then you take okay, and then you fold inside out, just like you would a burrito. And then the bottom, the part that's left, you want to put that on the bottom. And then make nice little roll-ups. And these are going to get braised in some sauce or some stock. Like I said, I have my stock cooking. I might braise them, and they're going to be so delicious. And you braise them for about a good 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And you use a cast iron skillet, which I'll show you. Okay, there you go. Now, with this cast iron skillet and stuff, you can make those ahead of time, freeze them, and then you could just take them out and cook them. You can take them